Damn it, they clicking up. If it ain't me, I'm sorry, it ain't enough. I ain't backing no nigga with talking tough. Get around the same niggas be tucking nuts. To be real as I am, it take plenty guts. A few steps.
Hey, we back. Episode 5, baby. Let's continue. All right, so before we get started, we're going to do a small recap. Episode 1, we went over beats. You can find them at BeatStar, or you can go to Arabic, or you can make them yourself. For this EP that I'm working on now, I chose to find producers by the beats and then put together the EP. But there's multiple ways that you could do it, but that was episode 1. Episode 2 was just simply telling you, hey, take a couple of days, listen to the music. I really only listened to it for a day for the sake of the video. But please, listen, as long as you possibly can. 3, we began working on the actual song, crafting the sound, figuring out how to deal with the lyrics. And then 4, we laid the hook vocals, added some candy to it. So in this one, I'm just showing you how we get those background vocals to sound well. This video may be a little longer, so you're gonna have to tune in and stay put, man. Let's get into it. All right, so you may need some headphones to hear this part. I'm gonna go ahead and play all the dubs, all the ad-libs, all the highlights and all that stuff in its entirety right now. And then I'm gonna show you how I mix them to push them back from the lead vocal. I do have the lead vocals paused, so you won't hear that. If you got some headphones, put it on. You may be able to hear it a little bit better. All right, we're gonna go ahead and play it, and then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna show you how I mix them to push them back in the mix. Let's go. All right, so I know there's a lot going on now. So in creating a backing vocal chain, what you're trying to achieve is balancing it with your lead vocal. So you don't want this to be something prominent in the actual mix. You actually want it to sit back and be somewhat barely audible to the ear, but just enough for you to hear that it's something there. Something is adding a little sheen to your vocal. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go through the backing vocal chains. We're going to start off with a Fab Filter EQ. So what I'm doing is rolling off some of that low end, a little bit of the high end, and then I'm attacking 7,000 kilohertz and around like basically 4,000 kilohertz. Pull down just a little bit of that 2048. That's where my vocals sit. Then I boost just a little bit around this 400 range. All right, I'm adding some compression here. We actually got the compressor pretty aggressive, only to squeeze them background vocals down a little bit, because again we're not wanting it to compete with the lead vocal. We got a relatively fast attack, long release. All right, next thing you want to do is de-acid. Of course, these plugins I'm using right now is the Fab Filter. You don't ever want your background vocals to be full of sibilants. Sibilants is going to compete with your main vocal more than anything else. Alright, so this is very important. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some stereo imaging. This is what it's gonna spread it out over the stereo field. I'm using Stereo Lab here, but you can also use isotope, temperature, anything. But the only thing it's actually doing is adding space to the background vocal, just making it wider. We're gonna add some reverb to it. This is just to push it on back from that lead vocal again. And just give it some space. And then the last two things is simply just introducing a little bit more of de-essing and just a little bit more of compression. Because you're trying to squeeze the life out of these background vocals because you don't want them to compete with that lead vocal at all. So let's play it and then we'll play it in context with the mix. So we're squeezing the life out of these background vocals. Once we pop the lead vocal back in, we can bring the background vocals up to test. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to pop back in these main vocals. And we're going to play the mix in context. If need be, I can either gain stage or come up on the threshold on these backing vocals to kind of blend it. Let's go.
But if I sit well, then it for me like it back to me. I hear you talking it, yeah, you talking much. And the shit you running, tell you niggas don't be adding up. And if I love you, then I love you, that will never get you. But if I sit well, then it's for me like it back to me. First of all, that'd be 100.
Let me go back one more time, turn it up a little bit.
I hear you talking it, yeah, you talking much. And the shit you running, tell you niggas don't be adding up. And if I love you, then I love you, that with no condition. But if I sit well, then it for me like it back to me. I hear you talking it, yeah, you talking much. And the shit you running, tell you niggas don't be adding up. And if I love you, then I love you, that with no condition. But if I sit well, then it's for me like it back to me. First of all, it'd be 100. If you don't like how I'm coming, then in private you won't talk to it.
All right, so I know that was a relatively long process, but in gist, the only thing you're trying to do is get those backing vocals to sit with that lead vocal. But follow this basic formula, and you'll get those background vocals to be nice, clean, crisp, and spaced out in the mix. We're gonna try to keep this thing short. A lot of times, these mixing sessions it take a long time. So bear with me. In the end, the result will be the result, and you'll put out a great body of work. This has been episode 5. On the next one, I'm going to show you the mastering process. So please stay tuned. This is building the EP. Later on, I come back and I start breaking out some of this stuff a little bit more in depth as far as EQ and compression, all of this good stuff. But for right now, we're just building the EP. I'm just showing you some of the steps I go to craft the songs and, you know, putting the beats together and so on and so forth. So if this is your type of thing and you're making music, keep messing with me. I'm gonna get better at doing this video stuff. But until then, we're gonna rock how we rock. You hear me? Bad boy.